How weird is it that I am there, but also here? We are all here today to do our presentations about what we have learned on this fantastic 8-week Manx Wildlife Trust wildlife gardening course. That was a bit of a mouthful. Manx Wildlife Trust wildlife gardening course. So sit back, relax, and let's see what I have been up to. In week 1, Lee spoke to us about the top 10 tips for wildlife gardening. It included things like introducing plants for different pollinators, introducing a water feature into the garden, and limiting your use of chemicals. We were also asked to do an online survey surveying our gardens and grounds that we were working on, and I got a total of 41%. For food, I got 12 out of 20. Shelter, I got 10 out of 20. For water, I got 0 out of 20. For natural solutions, I got 18 out of 20. Oof. And for connectivity, I got 2 out of 22. So there's definitely some improvement to be doing there. So week 2, we were introduced to the lovely Andre, and he spoke to us about soil and growing medium. And to say he was passionate about soil was an understatement. We learned about our pH levels in the garden, and we learned about how to compost and the different types of growing medium that you can use within your garden. Here is a picture of me shaking my soil sample. And here is the finished product. I made a little snowman effigy out of my soil, and the other thing next to it does actually look like a stool sample, but it is not. It is the pH balance level for my soil outside. And we discovered that my soil outside is sandy silt loam. Week 3 was Lee again, and it was growing plants. This is where I got to be a plant. We learnt about root to shoot ratio, the different types of cuttings you can take, so softwood, hardwood, semi-ripe, and we spoke about propagation too. Now, this has been really valuable to me this week because my Uncle John has tasked me with keeping my family's heritage geranium alive. So my Uncle John has recently won an award for the RHS for his years of service when it comes to geranium gardening. So he has created about 200 different types of geranium, and he names them after places in St Helens where my family is from and family members. He has given me a cutting from my great-granddad, Edgar Chisnall, and there are only 3 in existence. Now I have one. And I remember Lee saying that if his life depended on it, how would he propagate a cutting? And he said he would put it in 100% perlite to reduce the chance of mold taking over any fungal diseases. So I have done that. So Lee, if I lose my great-granddad, Edgar Chisnall, that's on you, sunshine, not me. In week 4, the lovely Jane Prescott talked to us about arranging our gardens, and I did a complete deep dive into one of the garden landscapers that Jane mentioned, called Pete Odolph, and his garden design was beautiful. So I cannot wait to start designing the left-hand side of my garden, which is basically untouched, to start creating things like matrix planting areas, areas of interest, focal points, anything to kind of draw that wildlife in, but keep it beautiful as well. Week 5 was lawns and pollinator patches, and we managed to create a little piece of wildlife turf. Now, don't be fooled. It may look dead and it may be dead, but I'm holding all faith out for this little guy. Come on. Week 6 was water in the garden. I was super excited for this week with the lovely Lucy and Andre. And as soon as I joined this course, of course, I went and bought a pre-formed pond. So come and have a look at my pond. Now, hopefully next year I will get some little froggies and some tadpoles in there. One of my favourite quotes from this week was, "Shrek doesn't need a pond liner, and if it smells like wee, that means flies pollinate it, and if it smells like honey, bees pollinate it." And for our final hands-on week, we had Rob, who came in to talk to us about additions for the animals. So that included things like water dishes, housing, and bird feeders. We also created our own feeder with peanut butter or lard, mealworms, lots of lovely seeds within logs. I don't know what type of bird's been eating it, but they have really enjoyed the new bird feeder. I have had such a fantastic time on the wildlife gardening course, and I've learned so much invaluable information. So thank you everyone, and thank you to all of the tutors. Bye!